It has been a little over a year since my last video on the Friday Night Funkin' Kickstarter, and I'm happy to say that since that last video, the developers have actually followed through with all of their promises, they've delivered all of their Kickstarter perks, and have released the game in its entirety. Thanks for watching. I'm kidding, of course that didn't happen. It has been nearly 3 years since that Kickstarter was fully funded, with over $2 million, mind you. And we still have very little info on what is happening to this game. But there are a few things that have changed since my last video, so I thought we would go through those updates. So the physical media. Shortly after I made my first video, I did actually receive my physical media in the mail, which consists of a vinyl, a cassette, and a CD of the Volume 1 soundtrack. I do actually think these turned out quite nice. All my snarky comments, past and future aside, Needlejuice always produces really great products, and this is no exception. And this is the highly sought after Kickstarter exclusive vinyl that was made only available to backers. As you can see, the sticker says it's a Kickstarter exclusive. I'm sorry, what's that? They made the Kickstarter exclusive vinyl available for everyone to purchase, so it's no longer actually a Kickstarter exclusive vinyl? I've been lied to. My favorite part was they actually started selling the Kickstarter exclusive vinyl before most backers had gotten their physical media, which led to people who just ordered it off the website receiving it well before the people who backed it in 2021. Is it a bit misleading? Yes, but I'm not gonna get too bent out of shape because ultimately I got what I paid for. And that right there is unfortunately the most positive update I have for you. Everything is downhill from here. So another update since my last video has to do with updates. So coincidence or not, right after I dropped my video last year, the Funkin team created a brand new website for weekly updates on the game's progress. So this website was announced and open to the public, including people who didn't pay money to back this project, so I guess so much for backer exclusive updates. Yeah, the last Kickstarter update was February 11th of 2023, and it was just announcing that updates would now be on this new website. They have not updated the Kickstarter since. But I'm complaining too much. The new website, that is a step in the right direction, no? The first official update post on the website was made on January 20th of 2023, which is exactly 1 week after my video dropped. Go figure. At the time of recording this, it has been 54 weeks since their weekly blog started, and in those 54 weeks, we have received 19 weekly updates. 12 of the 19 updates were posted in the first 3 months, which gives you a pretty good idea of how the past 9 months have gone. And some of these updates, I would hardly count them as updates. A lot of the early updates on this blog were updates about how they were working on the place to update you. One of the things about the quirky little blog stuff is sort of ease of use. I want our blogging system to be as easy and intuitive to use as essentially posting small updates to Twitter and be accessible to anyone on the team internally to write nearly whatever they want. That's great. We didn't ask for this. You could have made this a Kickstarter post. That's all we were asking for. In this blog, they even try to answer the question of why they aren't just using the Kickstarter page for updates. The main reason it appears is so that it would, quote, allow the whole crew to post updates easily without first having to ask Cam, Ninja Muffin, for access to post a Kickstarter update. Which is hilarious because they admit in a future blog post that all of these updates are manually compiled by one person, but they hope to eventually make it automated. Spoiler alert, it never became automated. They made a whole new website just so they didn't have to share a password on Kickstarter. Ninja Muffin also uses this blog to just vent about how hard his job is. An entire section of one of the updates was him complaining how he had to add people to a payroll while he was sick and that New York State requires that shit to be MF notarized and how he's never had to do that before. I say this with all earnesty. We do not care. And as for the content of this blog as it relates to the game, it is amazing how little we know about the progress of this game. It legitimately feels like half of these updates are written by ChatGPT just because of how vague, rambling, and non-specific they are. I'm going to read you verbatim one of the few updates about the actual game's progress, and at the end, I want you to tell me what you learned about where your money went. A little handful of the work I've done this week is Lil Secret, tee-hee, for secret features, tee-hee, but I will still run down what I've been up to a bit. First few days of the week was to fix up something redacted related for one of our contractors. It was easy, quick work, so it was nice little W for the beginning of the work, hee-hee. Then through the rest of the week was slowly poking around some of the code that Eric wrote related to redacted. He codes in a different way than me, and in general, it's the classic thing of code being easier to write than it is to read. But anyways, I was parsing all the code into my brain to get to working on it and adding small lil but essential feature to it. I'm almost done that aspect, just need to finish up redacted part of it. Since it's in my brain, once I end up doing more feature work on it, should be a bit bit easier for me to add and change things how I please, as well as have better understanding of how Eric codes, hee hee. That's it. That's the whole update. $2 million well spent. Oh, and we still would get the occasional Kickstarter backer update on a website where Kickstarter backers aren't notified of its existence. Let's see how that went. So they would occasionally include Kickstarter backer updates in these blogs, and my god, it's just as disorganized as it was last year. In their January 27th update, they announced that pins and posters for backers should be entering manufacturing within the next week. On February 10th, they announced that the posters should be done manufacturing within the next week or two, and that pins are gonna take another 1 to 2 months. Fast forward to April 7th, where they announced the production of posters and pins has been halted, but that they're hoping to start shipping them out soon, even though they don't have any of the products in their hands. Over a month later, on May 30th, they announced that they finally have the posters in hand and some samples of the pins, and that they're gonna hopefully start shipping them out within the next 1 to 2 weeks. And 1 to 2 months later, on July 19th, they announced they just sent out the first batch of posters. They also claim to have the pins in their hands, but as of recording this, still not a single person has received their pins, and they likely don't even exist. What other perks did they have? T-shirts? Let's talk about the t-shirts. Another perk they had was Friday Night Funkin' t-shirts, which seems like it should be the simplest of all of them. When you buy a perk like a t-shirt on a Kickstarter, eventually the organizer will send out a survey that collects your size and your shipping information so they can send you your shirt. As of me recording this video, not a single person has received that survey, even though they specifically promised that it's coming in multiple of their weekly updates. So here we are 3 years deep into this Kickstarter, and still a lot of perks have not been fulfilled. There are no pins, there's no t-shirt, there's no communication, there is no game. And guess what? Their last weekly update was in September of 2023, so we are once again left in the dark. All right, so quick update while I've been editing this video. The Funkin team actually posted their first blog update in over 5 months. Go figure. This time it was written by one of Friday Night Funkin's programmers, and it was actually the most insightful update we've gotten. He actually gave us a look into the chart editor for the game, which is something we've never seen before. Come to think of it, we've never seen any in development photos from the game. So I guess props to the team for doing the bare minimum of what they've promised time and time again, but credit where credit's due, I guess. So will they actually continue with weekly updates now? Probably not. Nothing they've done leads me to believe that, but I felt it was crucial for me to at least provide you with that information before the video came out. Back to the rant. But one last thing I wanted to look at before we wrapped up here was the Kickstarter comments section, because it is bleak. The community comments page on Kickstarter is a great way for me to gauge the progress of certain perks, because you are faced with hundreds of paying backers complaining that they've never gotten what they paid for. Honestly, this whole page is just sad to look at, because there are paying supporters who are frustrated about not being communicated with, and the Funkin team has just left them in the dark. I remember they said the game will come out in 2025, but I'm starting to believe it's not true. I never even got anything I paid for either. It's been almost a year since they updated us on anything in Kickstarter, and since September of 2023 on their weekly blog. So frustrating with zero communication, just like when I backed Omori long ago. I would have more satisfaction of them just telling us they ran away with the money to buy crack instead of leaving us in the dark. I no longer feel comfortable supporting this game and request a refund and for my name to be removed from the credits. And that is the comment that hurts the most. They have not just been irresponsible and unprofessional with their updates, they have squandered any goodwill they had with the very people who funded this project and made them ashamed to even have their name associated with it. These people gave hundreds, even thousands of dollars to support a project they believed in, and the developers have thrown them aside like they don't even matter. Game development takes time, and I understand that. I'm not asking the team to release a slap-together game just to meet their original unrealistic deadline. But there is no excuse for how they have handled this entire Kickstarter, leaving hundreds of paying supporters to believe they have been scammed. So I guess the most current update is that there is no update. We know exactly as much about the game as we did this time last year, and once again, the entire Funkin team has gone back on all of their promises. I honestly think this cycle is just destined to repeat itself at this point. The video comes out, people get upset, the Funkin team starts to make updates again, and then a few months later, they stop making updates and hope the internet just forgets. But if me making an update video once a year leads to them giving us just a crumb of the information that we paid for, well then I guess I'll see you guys back here in 2025. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and also big thanks to Delete Me for sponsoring this video. I've been using Delete Me for a little while now, and it is wonderful. It has successfully removed me from the internet, so I don't exist. Bye, gamers! But in all seriousness, they help you remove data online that shouldn't be online, so you don't have to worry about getting doxxed, and just in general, keep your private data private. And if you go to joindeleteme.com/Sully or use my code Sully at checkout, Delete Me is giving you 20% off. So please put your money towards something that will actually deliver on its promises. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and as always, be kind to one another, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.